Good afternoon. Just a morning. See, I wanted to check if you guys were awake. Coffee? You like the cookies that we had? Good, good. Hey, you may be wondering, why am I carrying a bucket? What does a bucket has to do with financial planning or getting ahead financially? What do you think? Do you see those buckets right here? Bucket list? Well, no, not quite. Look at that. We got 3 buckets. Now, the reason why I bring them is because I believe that everyone in this room has 3 buckets of money. 3 buckets of money. Now, some buckets may be bigger than others, right? But the first bucket that we have, all of us have, is probably what I call the pre-tax bucket. You know what I mean by that? Money that has not been taxed yet. How many here have a 401k? Okay, all of you. How about an IRA? That's where the bucket, this is the bucket. Now, who remembers the good old pensions that we used to have? Defined benefit pension. Remember those beautiful pensions? I mean, I love those pensions. I still have one from a very old company where they said to you, all you have to do is come to work for 20 years, right? You stayed with us for 20 years. You don't have to contribute a cent, not 1 cent. And by the time your 20th year comes up, you're going to get a lifetime income. What happened to that pension? It's gone. Now they have what they call a defined contribution plan, which is this, where you take all the risk. This is in the stock market for most people right here. And when the market goes up, you're happy. When the market goes down, people are sad. And you have no control over the growth of this bucket. You know, I was just reading today the USA Today newspaper. I love that newspaper. And right there in the money section, you can pick one up on the way. They're in the lobby. They say right here, Trump. You know the news, right? 2 people got in trouble. And they're thinking about impeaching him. And I'm going to read what he said. He says, I'll tell you what, if I ever get impeached, I think that the stock market would crash. You would see numbers that you wouldn't believe in reverse. I believe that. He'll get out of office. The market will crash. Do we have any control over this? Do we have any control over what happens in North Korea, maybe? The market, we're at the mercy of the market, right? But this is unfortunately the biggest bucket for most people. You agree with that? The second biggest bucket is this little white bucket right here. You have it probably. This is where your stocks, bonds, and mutual funds, besides being here, are here. This is where your homes fall into right here. This is your homes. That means that when you're selling your stocks or bonds or you're selling your personal residence, you're still going to be taxed, but better than this. This is what they call capital gains. This is what they call ordinary income. This could be as high as 37%. This is only 16%. But unfortunately, most people, their biggest bucket is what? This. And the third bucket, my favorite, right here. Most people don't even have this bucket. It's what they call the tax-free bucket. And this is where they become the banker strategy and the product falls into. Now, the wealthy have known about this bucket, and they made it their biggest bucket. Not this, but this. But for most of us, this is our smallest bucket, if we have it. So my job today is to let you know that it's not bad to have pre-tax money. It is not bad to have tax managed money. It is not bad if you don't have tax-free money. But you know what? My job is to help you level them out, make them balanced. Does that make sense? All right. So, what brought you here? Kind of curious.
My money.
Your money brought you here?
Yes.
All right. How's that? No, really, what brought you here? You want to keep your money. Okay, what else?
Build money.
Build money, okay. What else?
I want to
Go ahead.
help my family.
You want to help your family. Very good. What else? Financial future, different strategy. You know, I like that. All of those answers are great. But this gentleman here hit it right there on the head. You see, traditional methods of financial planning are not working anymore. What used to work in the past is now working today. People made a lot of money in the stock market. That was in the past. They're not doing it today. So you have to think out of the box. You have to have different strategies to be able to get ahead. That's good. Anybody else?
You want to have your money work for you.
Good point. There's only two ways to make money, and I'll talk about that. One is you working for your money, and the other one is your money working for you. So we're going to teach you today how you can make your money work for you. Fair enough? All right. So let me show you what you're going to get. And they're distributing those packets right now. You're going to get a beautiful folder, and inside that folder you will have several things. The first thing I want you to look at when you get the folder is this sheet right here. It is called the Become the Banker Discovery Sheet. Okay? This is a sheet that I want you to complete before you leave today and give it to me or Randy or Christine, and this will allow us to set up an individual appointment with you to find out if the Become the Banker strategy is actually good for you. You know why? Because we talk about your retirement. We'll be talking about your money, and we don't want to talk about your money now in a public setting. We want to talk about your money in a private setting. Okay, so this is a free up, don't have to worry about paying anything. This will just allow us the opportunity to sit down with you and find out what retirement looks like for you. What is that? Where are you financially right now? Where you want to be in the future, and how we can help you get there with this strategy. But we just don't want to talk about this in public. Is that fair enough? So don't forget this, okay? Then the second thing you will get a stapled sheet like this. But you don't have to look at it right now. Just look at mine right here. It has my picture, and this is my profile with the Certified Financial Planning Board. And you can read about it. You will read an article of the Denver Business Journal called the 1929 Crash that we're going to be referring to, okay? And then the last thing I want you to look at is your workbook. We're going to make you not work, but you're going to be really excited to learn this concept. People love it, and the benefits are tremendous. When you leave today, I will guarantee you one thing. You will think about money in a different way. So you came in through those doors, and you're going to go out the same doors, but with a mindset that is totally different about money. All right, so take notes. I want you to take notes, underline, highlight, and what I want you to do is to open them to page number 6. Everybody got a pen? Good. Page number 6. All right. Everybody there? Page 6? You got it? Okay. Randy, please. Page number 6. And what I want you to do at the very beginning is to read with me the second paragraph on that page. Building wealth does not have to be complicated. Traditional methods of getting ahead financially are failing. Do you agree that we need to do something differently now? Just mark it down. So there's only 5 questions that I want you to write the answers to. You don't have to tell me out loud, just write them. Fair enough? Because we're going to go over them later. Number 1, when you're looking to borrow money, whether it's for a mortgage, credit card, anything, a car, what are you looking for? What do you want? Well, don't tell me, just write it. But you're right though, low interest, okay? You're on the right track. When you're looking to borrow money, what are you looking for? Number 2, when you're looking to make money, when you're looking at an investment, when you're looking at a savings account, what do you want? Number 3 is the $1 million question. How much money are you worth? Now, before you write it, I want you to understand the question. If you were to hire yourselves, if you were a company and you were to hire you, how much money would you pay yourselves? I want you to take whatever you're making a year or monthly and put down a percentage that you would be willing to pay yourselves.
So that's what
Be real.
we're worth. That's what you want us to put.
Yes. Be real. Okay? Be real. Because like the gentleman here in the front, he said that he wants to get out of this how to make his money work for him. However, though, why am I asking you to do this? Because see, we go to work every single day. We get paid, right? And then we pay everybody else first. Except who?
So before taxes or after taxes?
After taxes.
Okay.
Okay? Your net. So we pay everybody else first, am I right? Mm-hmm. Except who? So we become almost like economic slaves. We're working for nothing. So I want you to mark this down. Rule number 1 of the wealthy: they always pay themselves first. That's how they got ahead financially. They always paid themselves first. You know, let me just say this to you. We've been doing seminars like this for probably like 20 years. And we have met people that have made a tremendous amount of money. I mean, that make a lot of money. They have nothing to show for. Can you believe that? I mean, just recently we met husband and wife physicians. Both of them, doctors. They make over $500,000 a year. Over $30-some thousand a month. Yet, they have nothing to show for. Yet, guess what? We have met people. We met a house cleaner that came to a seminar like this in Centennial. And when we met with her with that form that I share with you, the discovery form, we found that she had over $75,000 in a liquid savings account. House cleaner. And I said, how did you accumulate this money? What do you do? She says, well, I clean homes. I don't own a company. I just clean homes. I'm an individual. I clean homes every single day. And I get paid every single day. And I decided many years ago that every Friday was going to be my payday. Is that brilliant? I said, was it difficult? Was it hard? She said, at the beginning it was. But now it's a habit. So how much money are you worth? Number 4, just fill in the blanks. Creating wealth. Creating wealth is not what you make I mean, underline that, highlight it, circle it. Most people get hung up on, I don't make enough money. That has nothing to do with creating wealth. Creating wealth is not what you're making, rather it is what you're keeping, what you're saving. And this is music to this guy's ears right here. There's only two ways to make money. One way is for you to work for your money. The other way is to have your money work for you. And today you're going to be learning exactly how to do that. Is this exciting? All right, so let me turn the slides here. All those companies have something similar. I'm talking about Apple, FedEx, Uber, and Become the Banker, our company. The what? No, actually, they're disrupting the industries that they belong in. Now, think about it with me, please, because I'm going to teach you how to think differently about money. Apple disrupted what? The telecommunications industry, am I right? When they developed the iPhone. Remember, we used to have what? Landlines, phone booths, right? Pagers. Now, cell phones. Did they disrupt that industry? FedEx. What happened? What industry did they disrupt? Postal service and shipping by offering what? Overnight delivery. Uber and Lyft. Do you guys use it? I do. What a great company. I mean, were you aware that they're the largest taxi companies in the world? And they own no cars? How brilliant is that? They're the biggest taxi company in the world, and they have no ownership of any cars. Amazing. What did they disrupt? The taxi industry, the transportation industry, right? Become the Banker, we're doing the same thing. You see, a lot of financial planners out there, insurance people, stockbrokers, financial advisors, they're doing it the old-fashioned way. Become the Banker's taken over that. It's disrupting the financial planning industry. Talking about FedEx, by the way, FedEx spent over $1 million creating that logo. It's a beautiful logo, but they have two images embedded in that logo. They're subliminal, that most people, I would say 8 out of 10 people cannot see. But once I show them to you, you will see them forever. The first one is an arrow. Can you see an arrow? Raise your hand. Okay, better yet, people who cannot see it. Raise an a lot. Watch it now. Pay attention. If I show it to you one time, you're going to see it forever. It's between the E and the X. You see that white? You see, somebody says, oh, hi, right? Now, from now on, when you see an envelope with a FedEx logo, you will see it. When you see a truck passing you by, FedEx truck, you will see it. When you see an employee with a uniform with a logo, you will see it. How about the soup spoon? Can you see that? I mean, I'm talking about 8 out of 10 cannot see it. Oh, only 2 people? 3? Okay, 3. It's right here. But you'll see it from now on. Now, why am I sharing this with you? Because when people look at a dollar bill, it's like when they're looking at a FedEx logo without knowing of those images. When people look at a dollar bill right here, all they see is $1. They don't see what's behind the dollar. They don't see that 1/3 of this dollar, 1/3, goes to pay finance charges. Were you aware of that? For the average family, that is. 34.5% of every dollar we make goes to pay banks and credit card companies. You know how many items? On 3 items. one home, one car, and one credit card. Do you know somebody that has more than one credit card? Or two cars financed? I'm talking about just one of each. 1/3 goes to pay that. They also don't see that another third goes to pay, and I love this country, but goes to pay taxes. I'm not talking about just income tax, okay? By the way, I'm talking about all the taxes that we pay. Did you fill up your card today or yesterday? Did you pay taxes? Did you go out to eat? Did you pay taxes? When I called the Hampton Inn to reserve this beautiful room, they quoted me a price. When I leave today, guess what? It's going to be higher. So if you add up all those taxes that we're paying, 36% of every dollar we make goes to pay taxes. So if we're losing 34.5 to the banks and credit card companies, 36% to taxes, what do we have left? About 30 cents. That's right. That's why we have the worst savings rate in the world. You want to change that? You cannot eliminate not paying taxes. That's not what this meeting is all about. You cannot eliminate not paying finance charges. But what if this wonderful strategy, Become the Banker, could help you reduce that? Would you be better off? Okay. I want you to know the differences between financial advisors, okay, and financial planners and insurance people and brokers. I am a certified financial planner. There's a big difference between financial advisors and certified financial planners. To get this degree, you have to go to college. And I went to the College for Financial Planning right here in Denver, Colorado. And I graduated actually in 1982. You have to get a master's degree in economics and finance to get this. And then you have to sit for an 8-hour, get this, an 8-hour exam that rivals the bar exam for a lawyer. 62% of the people who take that exam fail it. Those who pass it, they have to be under the supervision of a CFP for 2 years before they can let you use that designation. And that's when I said, when you saw the little stapled 3 sheets on your packet, you'll see that's my profile with the CFP board. So not everybody that calls themselves financial planners can help you to the extent that we can, okay? Our company is a family-owned company, Colorado company. 44 years now in business. And we're an A+ member of the Better Business Bureau. You can always check us out. And one of the best, I guess one of the most wonderful events in my life is that Fox 31 right here and Channel 2 have chosen me to become their financial expert, as well as Channel 9. I mean, they had actually thousands of people apply. And after going through their selection process, they chose me. Channel 9 just recently, by the way, but Channel 2 and Fox 31, how many of you have actually heard of the Problem Solvers? Okay, that's exactly where they use me. Okay, I go on their set once a month to answer questions from people like you, viewers. Channel 2 does the same thing, but that's on a different channel. And 9 News just began actually 2 months ago. They call me because they have a program now called Financial Friday every month. Financial Friday. And if you were watching Channel 9 on Friday that I was there last week, I was talking about the good, the bad, and the ugly of annuities. Now, nothing to do with the Become the Banker because we're not promoting it. We're just helping people understand financial concepts. And of course, Tom Martino, like Paula mentioned, he's been my client for 20 years. He believes in the concept, and he's a watchdog. He's a consumer watchdog. How many of you know him or heard of him? So did you listen to his radio? Oh, okay. phenomenal. I mean, this guy has a lot of, he gets really uptight. If you go to his website, go to referrallist.com, you will see that he has a tab called the Sleaze Brigade. So when people don't behave, oh my gosh, you don't want to get into his bad side. All right. So this is my goals for you today. Since the wealthy always had a rule to pay themselves first, I'm going to motivate you to pay yourselves first today. If you don't do that, I'm going to tell you right now, you're wasting your time. Nothing will change. Everything will stay the same. Number 2, I'm going to show you how you can increase your money. Is that of interest to you? And number 3, how to reduce the risk of losing it and taxes. To me, that's pretty important. Because I wasn't born with a silver spoon, by the way. I was born from an economically disadvantaged family. Nobody gave me anything. So I know how important it is to keep my money safe. I don't want to go backwards. So we don't use the stock market. I detest the stock market because I've seen what has happened to people. So the only things that we do are safe money strategies, okay? All right. Don't mess that now. Did you mess it? You see the bags of money? And I want you to pay attention to this. Okay, watch again. It's real quick. There's going to be some bundles of money coming down. You see that? That's your money. Okay? Why do we have a cannon and a fort protecting your money? Why? Why do you think?
Everybody's trying to get it.
Who said that? Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly. But let me ask you this. How many here in this room have actually heard of a person by the name of Willie Sutton? He's a real guy. Willie Sutton. Nobody here? Nobody's heard of him? Wow. I want you to write his name down and Google it. Not now, but Google it when you get off the seminar here. Willie Sutton, I'm going to show you his picture. He was the most famous bank robber in the world in the 1900s. I mean, it's almost hilarious. He used to rob a bank, get caught, put in jail, only to be let out of jail to do the same thing over and over and over and over again. I mean, he was the most successful bank robber in the world. And the media asked him, Willie, why do you keep robbing banks? You're going to find that quote on Google. He said, well, that's where they keep the money. Now, you see, even the law enforcement guy here is laughing. I mean, it was almost like a joke. Bankers used to think, if Willie Sutton doesn't come to my bank and rob us, there's something wrong with our bank. It was that way. I mean, look at it, read it. Well, Willie Sutton is dead. He's gone. He was a famous person in the 1900s. So you don't have to worry about him. But there are 4 Willie Suttons that we need to worry about. 4. That's why we have the fort and the cannon. The first Willie Sutton are the greedy bankers. Do you agree with that? How many of you have read or heard about what happened to Wells Fargo? Wells Fargo, recently. Have they learned their lesson yet? How many times have they violated so many things already, and they keep doing it? To the extent of what? Hurting their own customers. How wrong is that? By making you have fictitious accounts that you didn't apply for, so they can make commissions. Think about that. Greedy bankers. Number 2, like I said, I love this country. I defended this country during the Vietnam era. So I love this country. But I don't like taxes. That's another Willie Sutton right there. Taxation. Number 3, look at yourselves, please. Look in the mirror. You are another Willie Sutton. you're stealing from yourselves. Especially if you're not paying yourselves, right? That's what I told that couple, those doctors. I says, what's happening to this money that you're making, over $38,000 a month? It's just evaporating. We spend it. Are they hurting themselves? Yeah. And the last is Wall Street, right? So let's take a look at each one of them. Let's look at banks first.
Banks. Our deposits earn a measly 1% or less in a traditional bank, while they charge us between 6 and 30% when we borrow from them. This lopsided formula handicaps people from getting ahead financially. The average American family loses an average of 34.5% of every dollar earned in finance charges to this thief.
What a great business to be in. I mean, think about it. If I were to ask you to let me have your money, and I would give you 1% in return, but when you came to borrow from me, I would charge you 30, would you think that's okay? But that's what we're doing, right? Banks. So I'm going to teach you right now something that's going to open up your eyes about how you think about money. What did you put down for question number 1 on page number 6? What is it? Who taught you that? No, really, who taught you that? Your family, school, right? Well, I'm going to tell you something right now that you've been taught wrong. We're always chasing what on a loan? The low interest rates, am I right? When the government reduced the rates on mortgages, what happened? Everybody refinanced, right? Because they were chasing the 3%. I'm going to show you today that that doesn't matter. The interest rate on a loan or a credit card does not matter. It is the volume of interest that you will pay over the life of the loan that really is the evil on borrowing money. Excuse me, let's take a look at that. This family had 3 items financed. 3. A car, what's the APR on the car? What's the interest rate on that loan? Can you see it? Okay. And I'm going to tell you right now, it doesn't matter. It could be 1%. Okay. How about the credit card? What's the interest rate on the credit card? And the mortgage? Okay. So let's look at the car. What is the monthly payment on that car? Okay. And what is the interest cost on that payment every month? So do you want to know exactly how much money you're really paying the bank? Take your calculators out, please, or your phones. Thank you, Randy. Just go to the calculator on your phone. And what I want you to do is to please divide the 175, which is the interest, monthly interest that the person is paying, into the payment of $594, and tell me what you get. How much? Almost 30%. So, ladies and gentlemen, you're not paying 8.5. What are you paying? So I want you to start thinking about loans totally differently. I want you to start dividing the interest that you're paying on a monthly basis into the payment to find out really what the banks, what those thieves are charging you. Anybody here owns, are you buying a home? Who's buying a home? Okay, so you probably understand what I'm talking about, right? If you take your closing documents when you bought the home, there's a page called the disclosure page, and it will show you how much money you will pay the bank if you keep their loans for 20 or 30 years. How much is that? And it doesn't matter what the interest rate is, you see. I really don't know what kind of math they're using. I mean, I really don't. So, if you buy this from a bank and you keep the loan for 20 years, you will pay the bank for how much? Tell me, is that 6%? Is that 8? Is that 3? Is that 4? How did they come up with that? Isn't that amazing? So I want you to start thinking when you borrow money a little bit differently, okay? If you have to borrow money to buy something, wouldn't it be better to borrow from yourself and then pay yourself back? See, that's what Become the Banker will let you do. So, all right. The second thief, or the second Willie Sutton, is what? The government.
Our retirement plans are not safe. This thief can deplete our nest eggs through hefty taxation and can increase the tax rate at its own discretion at any time. Today, the average family loses an average of 36% of every dollar we earn in the form of income tax and all other taxes we pay daily: food, hotels, gas, etc.
Wow. 36% goes to pay taxes. And did you listen? They can increase those taxes at their own discretion. We have no control over that, do we? So when somebody says, you know what, when I retire, the tax tables are going to be low. How do you know that? More than likely they're going to be higher because of the debt of this country. Now, you cannot eliminate taxes, but would it be okay if we help you reduce them? That help you? So on the question number 2 on page number 6, what did you choose? What is the answer? Don't be shy now.
Probably wrong now.
Yeah, probably is. But go ahead, tell me what it is.
I put stability and 0% low interest rates.
Do you want to have low interest rate on an investment?
Oh, high investment, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay, so you want to have a high rate of return. Now, who taught you that? See, everybody's chasing either the low interest rates on a loan, right? Or they're chasing what? The high returns on an investment. Just like the loan, I'm going to show you today that the rate of return on an investment is not that important. The thing that's more important is actually the way that that investment will be what? What would you say would be the best rate of return that you would like to get? The best rate of return. Let's dream. I'm not going to give it to you. Just dream. Who said that? 100%? 100%. All right. Let's play that game. 100%. Okay? 100%. Everybody agrees that that would be a great rate of return? Is there anything that can give you that right now? No. Okay? Who has a dollar bill? Is it that bad? Oh my gosh. No. I'll give it back. Well, come over here with me. We're going to play this game. Believe me, I'm not going to take it. I'm just going to play a game with you.
I get yours, I got 100%.
Come on. Look, I'm going to show you something. I'm going to show you your name again?
Mark.
Mark. Okay, Mark. Stand right here so we can see you. Mark heard me say that I could give somebody 100% rate of return. So in the year 2018, this year, he comes to me with $1. How many dollars must I give him for him to get 100% rate of return? Huh? $1? What do you mean? $2, right? So he gives me 1. How many must I give him? 2. All right, so he likes that, right? That's 100% rate of return. Then he comes next year, 2019, with $2. How many must I give Mark?
4.
Thank you. Let's make believe this is 4, Mark, okay? We're just playing a game. I know. Then in the year 2020, he comes with 4. How many must I give him?
8.
And then he comes with 8 the following year. How many must I give him?
16.
And then he comes the following year with 16. How many must I give him?
32.
And so on, right? Let's give him a hand, please. Thank you, Mark. Hey, would that be a wonderful rate of return? Tell me, what would be the value of his dollar bill if we keep playing this game every year for the next 20 years? Ah, you've been, so you've probably seen it before. You just calculated it. Yeah, let me show you. He's right. Watch this. Over $1 million. A dollar bill turns into $1 million in 20 years. Check my math. It's all about math. But I want you to read what's on the white on the top. With no what? With no taxes. That's what it would be with no taxes. Now, do you want to see what happens when Uncle Sam begins to tax this wonderful rate of return? And I'm going to use a low tax bracket. I'm not going to use the highest. I'm going to use a low tax bracket. 17% tax bracket. Look what happens. And again, you can check my math. It's all about math. What happens if you're blessed and you make more money today and you are in a higher tax bracket than the 17%? I'm not going to use the highest, which is over 30. I'm going to use only 27%. Watch. So what good, please answer me this, what good is to get 100% rate of return? It's only a game. Wouldn't it be better to get a lower rate of return, totally tax-free? See, if you have an IRA right now, if you have a 401k or a SEP, that's the way you're going to be taxed right there on the right. I don't know about you, I want to retire here with no taxes. That's what I want to retire. A 401k, IRA, you're going to be paying taxes. And the government cannot wait to get their hands on your 401ks and IRAs. We have met so many people that are over the age of 70 and a half that don't want to take any money out from their IRAs or 401ks because they don't want to get taxed. And you know what? The government mandates that they take it out. If you're 70 and a half, you have to. It's called a mandatory distribution. And if you don't follow it, if you don't play their game, they'll penalize you 50%. Think about that. So what are they counting on? I mean, I get goosebumps talking about that because it is unfair. So how much money do we have left? I think we talked about that, right? But if there was a strategy that can help you reduce the finance charges and the taxes, and rather than staying here to live your life, you could be enjoying your life or retirement with that, would you be better off? Okay. So let's talk about the third thief, you and I. Okay. Have you ever wondered why some people succeed financially and other people fail? I mean, it became crystal clear to me when I came to this beautiful country at the age of 12. I mean, I understand that this is the land of opportunity. I mean, truly understand it. But I also saw people that were born in this beautiful country that don't make it financially. Then I see people that come from different parts of the world that make it financially. And I'm wondering why. Why is that phenomenon? So, in order for me to become a certified financial planner, I had to do a thesis, just like a master's degree. And I wanted to find the answer. And that's what led me to write my first book. It's called The Why Factor for Financial Success, to find out why. Why do people actually make it financially and other people fail? You know, I have seen all my children born. All of them. I went to that delivery room on each one of them. And I'm going to tell you something right now. The doctor did not say, well, that little boy, he's going to be poor. Or that girl that was born here is going to be really wealthy. No. So something happens to us between birth and retirement. Am I right? We're born the same way. So what is it? Well, I tell you what, I was actually doing my research for my thesis, and I came across this gentleman right here. Nothing to do with that disease, by the way. That's his name. He was a great economist in the 1900s. Great economist. And he had the same question. Why do people make it financially and other people fail? So he said, the number one key is that they procrastinate. Man, I tell you what, I'm seeing it with my own son. Although he works with me, he's 28, and I talked to him about being 65. He says, Dad, expenses rise to equal income. Sorry, I'm blocking you. Expenses rise to equal income. Have you ever put oil and water? What happens to the oil? It rises to the top, right? Expenses is just like the oil, rises to equal income. I mean, that was brilliant in the 1900s, and it still applies today. How many of you have gotten a tax refund? What happened to it? Okay, expenses rose to what? Equal income. What else? How about a pay raise? What happened to it? Expenses rise to equal income, right? So what you need to do is you need to start, putting some of that money away, right? Takes discipline. The third bullet says, living beyond our means. He said, in his own words, a luxury once enjoyed becomes a necessity. Brilliant. And I said, it applies to myself also, because 15 years ago I bought a car with heated car seats. Oh my gosh. I love that car. My wife doesn't let me buy another car without them, right? In the wintertime, phenomenal. Well, guess what? 3 years ago, I bought another car. But this car, in addition to